Taylor had always been drawn to the thrill of a night drive. The open road, the quiet hum of the engine, and the feeling of freedom it brought were like therapy to him. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Taylor found himself on a desolate highway, his headlights cutting through the encroaching darkness. His phone buzzed, breaking the tranquility of the moment. An unknown number had sent him a text. "Follow the path less traveled, Taylor. Turn left at the next fork." Puzzled but intrigued, Taylor obeyed. The winding road led him deeper into the woods, the shadows growing longer and more ominous with each mile. As Taylor continued, he noticed faint glimmers of light through the trees. They seemed like lanterns, flickering in an erratic pattern. The text chimed again. "Keep going, Taylor. Your curiosity will be rewarded." Pushing aside his unease, Taylor followed the eerie lights, his heart pounding in anticipation. The road eventually opened up to a clearing, revealing a small, isolated village that seemed frozen in time. The lanterns adorned the pathways, casting an eerie glow on the quaint cottages. Taylor parked his car and cautiously stepped out, his eyes darting around as he took in the surreal scene. A figure emerged from the shadows, clad in old-fashioned attire. "Taylor, we've been waiting for you," the stranger said with an enigmatic smile. "Welcome to Ravensbrook." Taylor's curiosity overpowered his sense of caution, and he followed the stranger through the village. The villagers, each dressed in period clothing, watched him with silent intensity. They gathered in the village square, where an elderly woman approached Taylor, holding a worn envelope. "For you," she whispered, pressing the envelope into his hand. Without another word, she retreated into the crowd. Taylor opened the envelope and pulled out a faded photograph. A group of people standing in front of an ancient oak tree, their faces obscured by shadows. Before he could react, the stranger spoke again. "The oak tree, Taylor. It's waiting for you. Visit it tonight, and all your questions will be answered." Taylor couldn't resist the allure of the mysterious photograph and the promise of answers. As the moon rose high in the night sky, he made his way through the village toward the looming oak tree. The forest seemed to close in around him, the rustling leaves and distant hoots of owls creating an eerie symphony. The oak tree stood like a sentinel, its ancient branches stretching out like skeletal fingers. Taylor's heart raced as he approached, the photograph clutched tightly in his hand. Moonlight filtered through the canopy, casting an ethereal glow on the scene. A voice echoed through the silence, causing Taylor to startle. "You came," the stranger from earlier said, stepping out from behind the tree. "It's time to unveil the truth, Taylor." As the stranger spoke, figures began to emerge from the shadows. People from the photograph, their faces now visible. Taylor recognized their features. They were the villagers, unchanged by time. They formed a circle around the oak tree, their eyes fixed on Taylor. "We are bound by a curse," the elderly woman spoke, her voice carrying a weight of sorrow. "For generations, our souls have been trapped in Ravensbrook, reliving the same night over and over again." Taylor's mind raced, trying to comprehend the revelation. "Why? How can I help?" The stranger continued, "Your arrival is no coincidence, Taylor. You possess a unique gift, the ability to break the curse. But to do so, you must confront the darkness that has imprisoned us." Suddenly, the air grew colder, and the atmosphere turned menacing. Shadows twisted and contorted, coalescing into a sinister form, a malevolent entity born from the villagers' shared suffering. "You must face the embodiment of our torment," the elderly woman implored. "Only by confronting the darkness can you free us." Taylor's heart pounded, fear warring with determination. With the villagers' support, he stepped forward to confront the entity. A fierce struggle ensued as Taylor grappled with his own fears and the malevolent force that sought to keep them trapped. The battle raged on, the very fabric of the night seemingly unraveling. Exhausted and battered, Taylor tapped into a wellspring of inner strength, channeling his resolve into one final decisive act. The entity let out an agonized wail, dissipating into the night. As the darkness receded, the village and its inhabitants began to glow with a soft, warm light. The curse was broken, and time started moving forward once more. The villagers smiled through tears of gratitude, their faces now free from the burden of eternal repetition. Days turned into weeks, and Taylor became an honorary member of Ravensbrook, a place forever grateful for his bravery. As he embarked on his own night drives, the memory of that fateful encounter served as a reminder of the power of courage and the mysteries that could be unlocked under the cover of darkness. With the curse lifted, Ravensbrook blossomed into a vibrant and welcoming village. Taylor found himself spending more time there, forging deep connections with the villagers who were now living each day to the fullest. He grew especially close to the elderly woman, who revealed herself to be Amelia, the one who had guided him on that fateful night. Amelia became Taylor's confidant, sharing stories of Ravensbrook's history and the trials they had endured under the curse. As the seasons changed, Taylor found himself drawn to the tranquility of the village, seeking solace in its timeless embrace. One evening, as Taylor sat with Amelia by the restored oak tree, he couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought him here. Amelia, what will happen now? Will Ravensbrook continue to thrive? Amelia smiled warmly, her eyes filled with wisdom. Ravensbrook will flourish, Taylor. We have been given a second chance at life, and we intend to make the most of it. As for you, my dear, your path is your own, but know that you will always have a place here. Over time, Taylor's visits to Ravensbrook became more sporadic, but the bond he had formed with its inhabitants remained unbreakable. He returned to his own life, forever changed by his experiences and the enduring friendships he had cultivated. Years passed, and Taylor's memory of Ravensbrook remained a cherished part of his past. He had found a sense of purpose and a deeper understanding of the mysteries that could lie hidden beneath the surface of the ordinary. He continued to embark on night drives, now infused with a newfound appreciation for the enigmatic beauty of the darkness. One clear night, as Taylor cruised along a winding road, a familiar glow caught his eye. A solitary lantern, gently swaying in the breeze. His heart skipped a beat as he realized where he was. Following the path of lanterns, he found himself back in Ravensbrook. The village had evolved since his last visit, now a harmonious blend of tradition and modernity. The once eerie atmosphere had been replaced by a warm and inviting ambience. Taylor wandered through the familiar paths, greeted by smiling faces and the laughter of children playing. As he approached the oak tree, Amelia appeared once more, her presence as comforting as an old friend. "Welcome back, Taylor. It's good to see you again." Touched by the reunion, Taylor asked, "How did you know I would come back?" Amelia's eyes twinkled. "We are bound by more than just time and memory, Taylor. A connection like ours transcends the ordinary. Ravensbrook will always be a part of you." With a sense of gratitude and contentment, Taylor spent the evening reconnecting with the villagers, sharing stories and laughter. As the moon hung high in the sky, casting its gentle light over the village, Taylor realized that some mysteries were meant to be embraced, not unraveled. The night drive that had led him to Ravensbrook had ignited a transformative journey, one that would forever intertwine his fate with the villages. And so, under the starlit canopy of Ravensbrook, Taylor found a sense of belonging he had never expected. The thrill of the unknown had an irresistible pull on him, and his group of friends knew it well. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and shadows grew longer, Ray proposed an idea that both intrigued and frightened his friends. "Let's go for a night drive," he said, a mischievous glint in his eyes. His friends exchanged hesitant looks, but were soon won over by Ray's enthusiasm. The plan was set in motion, and they all piled into Ray's old, reliable van. The night was pitch black as they set off on their journey. The narrow road wound through dense woods, with only the headlights cutting through the darkness. The atmosphere inside the van was a mix of excitement and nervousness. As they drove deeper into the forest, The air seemed to grow heavier, and an eerie silence enveloped them. Ray, however, seemed unaffected, his grip on the steering wheel steady. The road became rougher, and branches scraped against the sides of the van, creating an unsettling symphony of creaks and whispers. Hours passed, and the friends lost track of time. They were immersed in the unsettling beauty of the night, the road a mere thread connecting them to the world they knew. It was then that they stumbled upon an old, abandoned cabin. The van's headlights illuminated the decaying wood, casting eerie shadows that danced across the windows. "Let's check it out," Ray suggested, his voice barely above a whisper. The friends exchanged uncertain glances, but eventually gave in to their curiosity. They cautiously approached the cabin, their footsteps crunching on the leaves that carpeted the ground. The door creaked open, revealing a musty interior. Moonlight filtered through cracks in the roof, illuminating dust particles that hung in the air like forgotten memories. The cabin was a time capsule, filled with remnants of a life that once was. A tattered armchair, faded photographs, and a rusted kettle on a stove. Suddenly, a noise outside startled them. They rushed to the door and peered out, but the forest was empty and still. An uneasy feeling settled over the group as they returned inside, their imaginations running wild in the suffocating silence. Ray's friend, Mia, nervously chuckled. "Okay, Ray, you've had your fun. Let's head back now." But as they turned to leave, a faded map on the wall caught Ray's attention. It depicted the surrounding area, with a trail leading to a nearby lake. The map seemed to beckon, its mysterious markings stoking the flames of Ray's adventurous spirit. "We've come this far," Ray declared, pointing at the map. "Let's follow this trail to the lake. It might lead to something incredible." Mia protested, but the allure of the unknown was too strong. Reluctantly, they agreed, and the friends embarked on the trail. The woods seemed to close in around them as they walked deeper into the darkness, the path growing fainter with each step. Time lost all meaning as they ventured further, their excitement now replaced by a creeping sense of unease. The forest seemed to whisper secrets, and every rustle of leaves sent shivers down their spines. Then the trail abruptly ended, opening up to a clearing by the edge of the lake. The moon's reflection shimmered on the water's surface, casting an otherworldly glow. But what caught their attention was a small boat tied to a weathered dock. As they approached the boat, a soft breeze carried a faint, haunting melody. Ray's heart raced as he untied the boat, his friends exchanging uneasy glances. The melody grew louder, seeming to emanate from the heart of the lake itself. Without a second thought, Ray hopped into the boat, his friends following suit. The boat glided across the water, each stroke of the oars accompanied by the haunting music that filled the air. They were entranced, drawn toward an island at the center of the lake. As they neared the island, the music ceased, replaced by an ominous silence. The island was overgrown with tangled vines, and a dilapidated mansion loomed in the moonlight. Rays of pale light filtered through broken windows, revealing a grandeur that had long faded. "We shouldn't be here," Mia whispered, her voice barely audible. But it was too late. They had stepped onto the island, their footsteps echoing in the stillness. The mansion's doors swung open with a ghostly creak, inviting them to explore its long-forgotten halls. And so, curiosity and dread intertwined, propelling Ray and his friends into the heart of the mansion. Little did they know, they were about to uncover a chilling mystery that would test the limits of their courage and friendship. The mansion's interior was a labyrinth of faded tapestries, dusty portraits, and forgotten memories. Ray and his friends moved cautiously through the dimly lit halls, their breaths shallow as they uncovered the mansion's secrets. In one room, they discovered a collection of old journals, their pages yellowed with age. As they flipped through the brittle pages, they pieced together a tragic tale of a family torn apart by greed, betrayal, and a curse that had haunted them for generations. The more they read, the more the mansion seemed to come alive with whispers and echoes of the past. Shadows danced on the walls, and the air grew colder with each passing moment. Ray's friends began to feel a growing unease, a sense that they were no longer alone in the mansion. As they delved deeper, they stumbled upon a hidden chamber, its walls adorned with cryptic symbols. At the center of the room lay an ornate chest, its intricate carvings hinting at a hidden treasure. Ray's excitement surged, and without hesitation, he pried open the chest. Inside, they found a collection of artifacts: an ancient amulet, a tarnished crown, and a withered, handwritten note. The note described a ritual, one that promised to break the curse that had plagued the family for generations. Ray's curiosity got the best of him, and he resolved to perform the ritual, convinced that it held the key to unraveling the mystery. The ritual involved a series of intricate steps, each one more unsettling than the last. Ray's friends voiced their concerns, but his determination was unshakable. As the final step was completed, the mansion seemed to shudder, and the air grew thick with an ominous energy. Suddenly, the room plunged into darkness, and the friends were consumed by a sensation of being pulled into the void. When the darkness lifted, they found themselves back in the mansion's main hall, but something was different. The atmosphere was heavier, and the mansion itself seemed to be in a state of decay, as if years had passed in an instant. Ray's heart sank as he realized that something had gone horribly wrong. The ritual had unleashed a force beyond their understanding, and now they were trapped in a time loop, doomed to repeat their actions over and over again. Desperation clawed at them as they tried to break free from the cycle, but every attempt only deepened their entrapment. Days turned into weeks, and Ray's friends began to lose hope. The mansion's walls seemed to close in around them, and the whispers of the past grew louder and more menacing. They could feel the curse tightening its grip, their memories fading with each iteration of the loop. Ray, however, remained steadfast. He was determined to find a way out, to undo the damage he had wrought. He tirelessly combed through the journals, the artifacts, and the symbols, searching for a clue, a glimmer of hope. And then, one fateful day, as Ray was poring over the journals, he discovered a passage that held the answer. The curse could only be broken by an act of true selflessness, a sacrifice that would sever the bonds of time and release them from their torment. With a heavy heart, Ray shared the revelation with his friends. The weight of their situation bore down on them, but Ray's determination burned brighter than ever. As they prepared to enact the sacrifice, the mansion's walls seemed to tremble, the air crackling with anticipation. In a moment of selflessness and unity, Ray and his friends carried out the final act. The mansion shuddered one last time, and then, with a blinding flash, the curse was broken. They found themselves outside the mansion, the sun rising on a new day. Exhausted but free, Ray and his friends embraced, their bond stronger than ever before. They had faced the darkness, unraveled the mystery, and emerged victorious. The night drive that had begun as a daring adventure had turned into a harrowing ordeal, but it had also forged an unbreakable connection between them. As they made their way back to the van, the forest seemed to welcome them, its whispers now gentle and reassuring. Ray glanced back at the mansion one last time, its facade weathered and worn, but no longer menacing. And so, with the dawn of a new day, Ray and his friends drove away from the forest, their hearts forever changed by the night they had shared.